As I'm reading through the book of Ruth, I'm in the first chapter, and I get to the part at the end of chapter 1, where Naomi is telling her daughters-in-law, like, hey, go back home, go back to Moab, go be back with your people, and all that stuff. And instead of going with her to back to her home country. And so as she tells them to go back, Ruth didn't want to let her go. She held on to her. It says in verse 14 that Ruth clung to her. And going on in verse 15, Ruth is told, behold, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and her gods. Return after your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, do not urge me to leave you or turn back from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. And where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Thus may the Lord do to me, and worse, if anything but death parts you and me. And so when Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she said no more to her. And so she allowed Ruth to go on to her with Bethlehem. And so I read, because I have a study Bible, so I'm reading down here, and so it says in the notes that this is a classic expression of loyalty and love, discloses the true character of Ruth. Her commitment to Naomi is complete, even though it holds no prospect for her but to share in Naomi's desolation. For a similar declaration of, but anyways, that was something else. But it's interesting. So as I'm reading it and remembering that, the Old Testament is about Jesus too, it's just, you gotta find it and really see the symbolism, foreshadowing things, and that when Jesus came, he came to fulfill the scriptures in the Old Testament and things like that. And so what came to me was that Ruth left everything behind to be with Naomi, and she didn't care. She didn't want to go back to her old ways, her old life, going back, and had this friendship, relationship with Naomi that she just would not let go. And to me, what immediately came to me was, how me personally, how I lived my life for 38 years for myself. And when I fully gave myself to the Lord back in 2020, about 5.5 years ago, and just clung to Jesus because trying to do it my way wasn't working. And then I know the scriptures and I know the Bible and things like that, but the scriptures wasn't real to me at the time. And so I clung to Jesus, not turning back from Moab. And for me, my Moab is my old life, how I was doing life, doing things my way, things like that. And so not going back to, the old way of living, not going back to the clubs, not going back to drinking, not going to the old friends who were taking me down to hell, leading me to destruction, things like that. I cut off so many people. And yeah, and so to me, I see it like that, and how Ruth clung to Naomi is like, for me, or hopefully you, that you see Jesus, your relationship with Jesus, as so precious that you're all in. And the preaching this morning was about an 11 o'clock service, is about not having your toes in the water, but being all in for Jesus, being 100% all in, and not one foot in, one foot out. And then, so in 2020, I was like all in, even though I had a lot of doubt, even though I struggled with a lot of things. I didn't fully understand the spiritual stuff. Like I was, of course, but I was, I can't do it anymore. Anyways, I'm trying to keep this short, but that was me. That was me. And so like Ruth says, don't, it's not like Jesus say, go leave or anything like that. In verse 16, how Naomi was like, go back, go back, go back. Of course, Jesus wants us to come to him, but it's like, but the dedication Ruth had to follow Naomi, despite, she didn't, she just wanted to be with her, even if it, not knowing what the future may hold, or she didn't do it to, for any selfish reasons or anything like that. She just wanted to be with Naomi. And for me, no matter what happens in this life, no matter whether if I receive things, especially, me being single, whether I have a husband or not, I know that my first love, my marriage, my covenant first is with Jesus. And whether or not if I have a husband or not, I'm okay with that, or anything else in this world, because like I said in the last video, my joy, I should be joyful. I should rejoice that my name is in heaven, that my name is in the Lamb's Book of Life, and that I am in covenant. I am adopted into God's family, and I am a daughter of the Most High King. And to me, and that's eternal. That lasts forever. A husband, a car, a house, having better, nicer things. Yeah, it's great and all, but really, what's so important, what's most important, is not the accomplishments that God allows us to have, or the platforms or whatever it is. We shouldn't strive for the things of this world, but strive for the things that are eternal. And so ever since a specific sermon, like I think is in the last month or so, really changed my perspective when I realized that not to rejoice that my name is in heaven. And I hope that your perspective has changed, that not to worry about things in this world, but be thankful that you receive anything, but just care and rejoice more in the fact that your name is in heaven, because that's all that matters anyway. We come into this world with nothing, and we leave with nothing. And so anyways, that's my little tidbit. It's just interesting as I sit here and read, and I never saw it in that way. But that's the revelation I got. I thought it was cool. Just wanted to share. And so yeah, that's about it. If you would like to say something, a comment, and maybe it's a new revelation for you, I don't know. But yeah, but this is a different perspective of as I'm going through the book of Ruth, and I've never seen it in this way. How Ruth and Naomi, to me, it's like me and my relationship with Jesus, that I'm willing to go with Jesus no matter, even if it doesn't profit me anything in this life, but knowing that, because my relationship with Jesus is all that I need. So, but anyways, I just wanted to share. God bless y'all.